Hey, what's going on there, guys? Cloud Truth here, back with some more Battlefield 4 gameplay, and welcome to a round of Conquest on visually my favorite map in the game, Hainan Resort, Hainan, however you wish to say it. And Mr. Chopper Pilot, I do believe there was a no-fly zone sign listed there on the helipad. Apparently, he must have missed that and decided to take off, and therefore paid the price. But most of this gameplay y'all are going to be watching is some mobile artillery. I know, right? Not something that you see every day. But I was fortunate enough to get in this mobile artillery vehicle, and actually a couple times, because I had to abandon it whenever it just was it got destroyed, and whenever people were parachuting in, trying to kill me after I was being very much a pest to a lot of players, because just launching down these shells of artillery rounds upon players' heads generally will piss people off. So I had some pretty good clips with this. I didn't just flat out just destroy the entire team, but this can be a very, very effective vehicle when left alone, and you'll see idiots that get in here every now and then and move me. So whenever you're watching this, if all of a sudden the little crosshair on the screen just randomly is flying around, just where is this thing going? It's like I'm freaking drunk or something like that. This some idiot got in the driver's seat and starting to drive, and whenever that happens, the reticle like flips out. You can't control it, you can't aim, you can't do anything. So you'll see it a couple times. It'll get to that point in the video whenever we get there. But for the most part, I feel like I did a pretty good job. I just stayed in one spot. I didn't move it. I didn't take it way back to our base and launch stuff off, which is probably what you should be doing. You don't want this thing right in the middle of the action, which is where I basically was. But I decided I'm just gonna hop in here and see how long I can stay alive. And I got in here, what, 2 or 3 times at least. So, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this gameplay. Today's topic is gonna be something that it's kind of, I guess you could say it's been talked about before and perhaps overdone, but it's basically kind of like a complimentary and a criticism of game developers, and you can go along with the publishers as well. Battlefield 4, let's start with this, obviously, since that's the game y'all are here for. It's been a very rocky and rough launch and experience for a lot of players, myself included. There's been moments where you smile and it's just so cool, and these things happen, and you look at this game and you just marvel. And then there's been moments where you just, all you want to do is just take your fist and punch it through your monitor or your television, or chuck your controller across the room, or break keyboards, as people have said, because these moments happen that you just, they're just so upsetting. And a lot of players are basically, they're degrading DICE or putting them down for the things that they've done for this game, which some of it may be warranted. I can perfectly understand that, and some things I do feel like it's, you're kind of questioning, how did you miss this? But since this is the internet, obviously, people have a tendency to just completely go over the top. And by go over the top, generally you don't find it as much from commentators and people that voice their opinions as I decide to go for a ride in a Jeep. Yeah, that just happened. I do love the Jeeps of this game. Funny things like that, gotta love them. But people that do commentators, things like that, that have a more, I guess you could say, a hearing, or people that listen to them more, generally aren't going to be as publicly open to verbally bash developers in an extremely vulgar way, because it speaks bad for that person in general. But when you have some Joe Schmo on the internet that has some random account that's not even under his name, he can do what he wants and no one knows who he is. So that type of thing causes for a lot more criticism that really isn't warranted, in ways that I mean, let's be honest here, it really, really hurts a developer sometimes when they hear these things. And is some of it their fault? Perhaps, as some idiot is getting in my vehicle. Yeah, some of it is. Some of it is warranted, but some of it is just like, you're a complete idiot and shut up with what you're saying. Okay, yeah, I know it sounds kind of harsh to be saying that to someone, but DICE does a fantastic job making their games. Let's just be real here. They do, and some people are going to disagree with me on that. But if you give them the time that they need, not the time to meet deadlines, the time they need, they will make a fantastic game. It's that simple. Battlefield 4 is a more just in-depth and expansive game than a lot of them you'll find out there. It's just, it really baffles me sometimes, the people that bash this game, when the fact of the matter is, this game is more expansive than probably about 3 or 4 multiplayer games put together. It's that expansive. But that doesn't disregard the problems that are there. What causes these problems is for a number of different reasons. Obviously, when you have so much things to develop and just so many things to do, it's hard to catch everything. You're gonna need an army of people to test things, to do things, to work on things, and to go along with that, the ability to correctly report problems, understand them, and the know-how to correct it. And that's where I think the problems really lie. It's like any other job out there. You have someone that's new, that's starting off, they don't know what they're doing. Certainly they can have training, this and that, and blah-de-da-de-da. When I first started working my very first part-time job, there was this little training packet thing. It was at a retail store. Like little packet thing, you know, it's supposed to, oh, you do this, and then you go here, do this. All these little things are supposed to help you learn stuff. When I went to one of my bosses there, he basically looked at me and he looked at this and said, I don't care what this is. I really don't. This means nothing to me. This is honestly just stupid and pointless. Because you get the most experience from being out, basically in that case, on the floor, working, interacting with your fellow employees, your customers, things like that. That's where you learn, that's where you understand things, is from experience. And that's the same thing with development. You understand things through experience and understanding this whole, really the Frostbite engine, how the game and the engine and really the mechanics of the game goes. And the same things with DICE and the people that are there. They have some guys that are going to be very, very experienced and very talented developers. And then they got the guys that are coming up, obviously. And so it's kind of hard, once again, to have a complete knowledge and understanding of how to report problems, how to correct them, and how to address them to be able to fix it. Okay, what's the other problem, really, that in terms of coming here, or problem with perhaps Battlefield 4 that is something that is pretty major and people will honestly understand this? Well, that's going to be your publisher. Electronic Arts, people just, myself included, don't agree with some of the things they do. It's obviously very much a marketing thing. Because EA and Activision, it's like, they don't care what happens below them. And oh, that shorty 12 gauge. That shorty. I'll be doing a video about that pretty soon. Oh man, that sidearm's amazing. The rivalry between EA and Activision, it's getting to the point of flat out embarrassment for them. Embarrassment. It's literally like two kids sitting on a playground making the whole yo mama jokes. Remember, like back in like freaking elementary school? That's what they're doing. They're trying to basically one-up each other all the time. And that's what it's getting to, a point of embarrassment where they're looking childish. All they're doing is pumping money to marketing. That's okay. That's a business decision. Obviously, it's going to market your game and therefore for them probably pay back in terms of numbers of sales. But it really gets to a point where it hurts everything else. Why? Because think about the guys at DICE that really take the time to make these type of games. They don't get the time. They have to meet deadlines. They have to get things done. Because of that, compromises are made. Problems still are left that perhaps would have been fixed. Now am I putting the blame on one person, individual, or well, the same thing, or group? No, not completely. But I feel like there is a couple of different problems here that are causing the issues with Battlefield 4 as a game overall. Now I will say this to go along with the whole problems with being, developing, critique, and just kind of praise in that matter. DICE fixes their game unlike a lot of developers out there. Now they fix everything. Well, no. It's really hard to have a perfect game. I mean, let's be real here. What game has never had a problem its whole life ever? Yeah, name me one off the top of your head. I can't. So they do take the time to fix their games. Now some people may say, well, that should happen before launch. I agree. I would like to see the game done before launch. But that doesn't put the fact aside that they actually take the effort to listen, to understand things. For instance, you all know about the one-hit kill bug that's been coming up recently. How many other developers would have actually fixed that problem in the, I guess you'd say, in the way that DICE has done in terms of its reception, how quickly the devs were able to get on this issue and say, thank you, we're working on it. And then about, 3-4 days later, say, we have basically we found the issue here. We think that, this is going to be the problem that's causing this, and we'll be fixing this and rolling out a patch as soon as we can. Not a lot of developers are going to be able to do that and interact with their players, interact with the people that play the game in such a way. That I do praise them for. But should those type of problems ever happen in a game? No. It's really disgusting to see that it's there. But it is. It's there, and we have to deal with it. Oh, that shorty. Can't get over that shotgun for sidearm. It's so good. But in terms of development goes, DICE obviously has done a great job with Battlefield 4. But there's some things that they have fallen short, and I feel like it's really down to multiple different reasons. One, manpower is one thing, to be able to test and really understand the problems with this game, the expansiveness within it, and the ability to correct it. The second thing is their publisher and EA. Their rivalry between Activision, like I said, it's getting embarrassing, it's getting childish, and it's really, it makes them look just incredibly immature, and really just, they need to act in a better way than what they do now. I may be completely wrong with that. They may think that what they're doing is the best thing ever, and it is. I personally don't feel that way. But this is kind of just a random rant video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you stuck to the end, I do appreciate it. And if you perhaps thought this was really good, be sure to hit that like button. I'd appreciate it very much. Leave your thoughts about it below. Take care. See you next time.